What's up, everyone? All right, so here we are. It's the third day of February. I'm up $43,000 on the month. This is crazy. I made $18,000 on Friday, $6,400 yesterday, and I'm up $19,274 today trading two momentum stocks. The momentum is hot. The big one was WORX. I think the low today was like $4.50, but I saw it definitely from $5 all the way up to $11. Huge moves. I mean, really crazy. I didn't go in on the first move. I missed it, totally missed it. I got in on the first pullback. The first 5-minute pullback, I got in at 8 in my IRA account with 3,600 shares. I got partial fills. I wanted to take 8,000, or actually 9,000, only filled partial. So I got a partial fill on my entry. That's frustrating. Ended up getting a full $2.50 per share of profits. Held the trade for about 25 minutes. A long hold time, a big win. My profit target was $12. So I'm in at 8, my target was 12. I mean, these are big targets, but the momentum is hot right now. So this month, I'm off to an awesome start. I actually don't know that I don't think I've ever had a better start to the month than I've had in these last 3 days. So now if I can just keep pace, if I can just, do well, even just decent over the rest of, the next 4 weeks, this is easily going to be an $80,000 month. If I can really get a couple more big days, this is going to be a $100,000 month. If I have a couple of home runs, this might be my best month of all time. Last year, January 2018, $115,000, right around there, best month of all time. Well, I've got a shot at beating it right here this month. I gotta stay focused, I gotta stay grounded. I can't be focused on swinging for home runs. I really have to be very mindful of the market I'm in, but we're in a strong market. And for me, that means bigger share size, longer hold times, a little more aggressive on the profit targets. Today it worked. What's gonna come up tomorrow? We'll see, we'll find out. We'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning, 9:15. Enjoy the recap. As always, any questions, any comments, leave them below. All right, see you guys later. All right, everyone. So we're going to do midday market recap here, go over the trades from this morning. I'm going to finish the morning up $19,274.51, which is a pretty good day. So that's actually going to put me up about $43,000 on the month, and it's the third trading day of the month. And I think if I sat around here, I could probably get myself over 20,000 on the day. I'm going to put in 19,000 on the day here, but I'm going to leave room for maybe taking another trade if I do see something that looks good. Obviously the last few weeks have been pretty good. January was really pretty solid. Only had 2 red days. It was overall just a great month. Accuracy right around 70%. February off to an awesome start. I've already hit my $40,000 February target, and it's February 5th. It's the third trading day of the month. This puts me in pretty good shape if I can be slow and steady at having $100,000 of profit this month. I mean, easily if I have a couple more days like today. And as good as today was, today could have been a lot better if I had gotten full fills on my orders. I had a bunch of partial fills at really critical spots, and that on some of these trades probably cut my profits in half. So yeah, I mean, I know for a lot of you guys, even if you make just 10% of what I'm making, you're having a great day. So today's a day where if you trade 10% of my size and you're have a small account, a $1,900 day is still an awesome day. So for me, nearly $20,000 day feels good. $43,000 in the last couple days is great. The IRA account is up another 20% today. Starting balance $54,000, up $11,530, tax free. That's awesome. So, I can't touch it till I'm 59 and a half years old, but I'm doing myself a favor for retirement here by putting as much away as I can. The limitation here is that with only $54,000 in equity, I am a little limited on share size also. I can't take 10,000 shares of this stock because that would require $90,000. So then in this account, which is my main account, my regular trading account that I mostly used last year, I've got just about $100,000 in it. So I can be more aggressive in this account with share size. But actually that didn't really help me today. I'm up only 7,700 in this account. I traded both of these stocks with bigger size and I actually made less money on both of them. We'll go through the trades. But in any case, today's a day where I set the bar very low. I had very low expectations for today. I did not think that we were going to hit, I didn't think I was going to hit a home run. I thought today at best, base hit trading. I wasn't even sure that I would take a single trade today. So let's look at the gap scanner this morning. Every day is the same. We look at our gap scanner around 9:15. We do our pre-market analysis using this scanner. And what we had this morning was a pretty sort of lackluster scan because most of the stocks on it were either a little too crowded in volume or, why is that not snapping? I'm trying to get the corner of this. They were either a little too crowded in volume or they were, the float was higher. So AMRS was our leading gapper. 39% gap, 35 million share float, already 2 million shares of volume pre-market. They did have news, and it was in the cannabis kind of headline sector, which is always hot. $255 million cannabinoid development, licensing, and commercialization agreement. That's pretty impressive. But the problem for me on this one is that pre-market, the stock was already selling off. It really looked pretty weak. So, if it had broken back over this pivot of 455, that would have been interesting, but I just really didn't have a lot of faith in it. The bell rang, it kind of sold off. It did a red to green move here, but no trades on it. I really wasn't that interested. I didn't think this had even good base hit potential, let alone home run potential. Next one down, too expensive. Next one down, MLNT, $1.70, 17% gap, 39 million share float, almost 1 million shares of pre-market volume. Again, pre-market chart, not that clean, already coming down, not interested. OPGN, $1.62, 14% gap, 5.7 million share float, 16,000 shares of pre-market volume. Again, pre-market chart, not looking that great. So, we're going down the list here, and there's really not a lot that looks super good, which is kind of disappointing. MBRX, not that great. BVSN, this one, lower float, 3.3 million shares, a couple lower float stocks here, but not much on the pre-market chart. So as the bell was ringing, I said, guys, I like nothing. There's nothing I like here. I mean, really, there's nothing in terms of fresh gappers that I like. However, I'm going to keep TMSR on watch. This is a potential follow-through name. Yesterday, we had a high of 538, so that's a level to keep an eye on. Pre-market, where is this? We didn't have a lot of action on it, so I really didn't think much of it. I was just like, keep it on watch, it's a follow-through name. SXTC, keep it on watch, it's a follow-through name. Both of these are Chinese stocks. ZKIN yesterday, also a Chinese stock, made about $6,400 on it, made a big move in the early part of the day and then gave it all back, just gave it all back. So that one, definitely not on watch for continuation. And I was concerned that that big red candle was gonna kind of put a cloud over momentum traders for the next couple days, just because, when you have a stock that just is so weak, it can really be an issue. So, anyways, yeah. So nothing there. So basically, the bell was ringing, and the only stock I kind of had my eye on was maybe TMSR, but I didn't really think it would do much. So then the bell rings. Let me refresh these scanners. Time frame this morning. The bell rings, and let's see, nothing. A couple stocks hitting the scanner, nothing interesting. ALRN hits the scanner on the 1 minute chart, and for a second I was tempted. For a second I was like, ooh, this looks interesting. I even got an order ready at $2.50, but it popped up and gave it all right back. So I was glad I sat on the sidelines on that one. There was no news on it. The chart, I wasn't sure about, so I just left it alone. I'm on Facebook. So yeah, you guys on Facebook, give me a shout out with how you did today. For those of you guys who traded, those of you guys who have questions, give me a shout out. I'll come back and answer those questions later this afternoon or tomorrow even. So anyways, that was ALRN. SPI, this one hits the scanner. I was also really close to pulling the trigger on it. It's a former runner, history of making big moves. It pops up. I had my hand on the buy button on this one, also around 350, and whoa, gave it all back. I'm glad I hesitated. So at this point, you know, we're coming up to 9:45, and I haven't taken a single trade yet. No trades, no trades, no trades, no trades. Boom, TMSR hits the scanner. I see it hit the scanner at $4.75. It's a 6 million share float. It's moving up 6% versus yesterday's, or versus the change from the close. Yeah, yesterday's close, I guess that is. So I quickly pulled it up. I typed it in, TMSR, and I saw in LULD the halt level coming up. So I knew it was going to get halted, and boom, I jumped in, shift one. I mean, I just was like, yep, this looks good. So let me pull up my orders here. Let's see, go up and reverse this. Sorry, okay. So it hit the scanner at 475. I was a little slow in getting in. I didn't get filled until 97, and I filled only 600 shares. 99, filled only 207 shares. Come on! $5, I filled 3,000. So I have 3,807 shares of the 9,000 shares that I wanted. So I got 30% of my position at 5. Right, so, and you can see I'm up 2,700 bucks on it. So 37% of my position, or my target position. So that was at 5. The high there was 506. I put an order on this to add coming out of the halt at 525. We ended up opening at 555 and hitting a low of 526. So it didn't pick up my order. So I canceled it, and then I pressed shift 1 and tried to buy 3,000 shares at 567, but filled only 1,141, another partial fill. And I'm using a 5-cent offset on my order. So let's see if I go into custom orders, let's see, buy 3,000 shares. I'm buying 5 cents above the current ask right here using NASDAQ as my market maker. So I'm being aggressive. Instead of pressing the buy button at 33 here, my order would be at 38. But in this case, if I put an order at 38, well, I'm still not going to fill any of those shares that are for sale at 40. So in this case, I still might not get my full order filled. And that's what happened on this one. So coming out of the first halt, that's when I took my first position in my, my main account here. So I bought it at 96, 605, and 611 going into the second halt. And at this point, the daily setup was the first daily candle to make a new high. Target was, I was thinking $7. Now it hit 647, so it didn't quite hit my mental target. But I jumped in it there. Now, it comes out of the second halt. It opens high, opens way up at 638, hits a high of 647, and I went ahead and added at 638. Well, that was a mistake. I sold those shares at 630, 630, and 624. So I made $2,000 on, I guess, well, no, what did I get? Yeah, 10,000 shares. So only 20 cents of profit in my main account. And then as you can see, it came back down. And in my IRA, I sold, let's see, I added at 630 as well, coming out of that halt, and lost money on that, selling at 611 and 585. So I was kind of being aggressive. I don't know. I made some good money on this one on Friday. As you can see on Friday, I went from a low of 292 to a high of $9.47. I thought this one had some maybe more potential. I had a mental target of $7. So I wasn't selling it really until 7. I was like, it's going to go to 7. That's the spot that I've got in my head is like, profit target. And so instead of selling it here at 630, I was adding at 630 with another 70 cents of potential profit. And I was adding at 638 here, and that was just too aggressive. So that's okay. Walking away with $4,700 of profit on that stock. But, It could have been maybe a little more if we had seen a bigger move, or if maybe I'd been a little faster about just selling, but I thought it had more potential in it. So on that one, I was kind of wrong, I guess. This was the other one. So while I was trading TMSR, I was totally in the zone on it. I really wasn't paying attention to anything else. But I saw you guys mention this WORX was halted and then halted again and again and again. That was early this morning as it was going from 5 to 6 to 7 to 8 to 9 to 10. And I totally ignored it because it wasn't on this scanner right here. So I was like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, I see you guys talking about that, but no. I'm focused on TMSR. TMSR is the stock that's on the scanners and it's moving and has potential. Well, this went up 100% while I was looking the other way. It pulls back. It ends up getting halted, coming back down. Halts right here, opens lower, and it's going sideways. So at this point, I had this on watch. And I was remembering, I realized that at this point, during this move up, it made this 100% move on maybe 150,000 shares of volume. So it wasn't a lot of volume. And it made me think of IMTE last year. IMTE makes this huge move from like $5 to $40. And the first part of the move, from $5 to maybe $12 or $15, was on really light volume. And then it just opened up. I mean, it just went crazy. And I underestimated it. I totally underestimated it at the beginning of the move. And then by the time it was really taking off, I felt like I was too late and it was too expensive. And so I didn't end up capitalizing on it or doing nearly as well as I could have. So on this one, as I saw it here, I looked at it and I said, okay, well, first of all, there's a headline today. Successful acquisition of SC WORX on February 1st. The company will be trading under the NASDAQ symbol WORX starting February 4th. All right, company has $5 million of cash to fund its growth strategy. So all of this, I'm like, wow, okay, there's a headline on this stock. It's got a recent reverse split. As you can see right here, it's above the 200 moving average. I look back and I'm like, okay, well, it's sort of a recent IPO. I mean, a little ways back, 17. But this, to me, I just looked at it and I was like, I don't know, this looks like it has the potential. So as I saw it right here, this is where I thought, okay, this is the bull flag pattern. This is a technical pattern. And I'm watching it to see if it breaks back over $8. The high here was at $8.25. And I thought if it broke above $8.25, it's got room probably back up to $9. And if it breaks $9, it's getting closer and closer to high a day, $10. So I got in it at $8 with a target of $10. So I jumped in that. I took a starter at 88 and tried to add at 95. Partial fill on my starter at 95. Full order on the starter. Partial fill on the double. All right, so on this one, I had about 50% of the share size I wanted. I wanted 6,000 shares. I tried to add here to go up to 8,000. Now, that would have been a $16,000 winner because I ended up selling this at just about $10. But I only got a partial fill. The stock was moving without me. It was already taking off, and I jumped on a moving train, which is what I usually do. I jump on a stock that's already moving. But in this case, it was leaving without me. And I tried to jump on, and I got as much as I could, but only 3,600 shares. It squeezes up and gets halted. Now, in my main account, I jumped in it as well. Target was $10, but I was only able to get in it. My first entry was at 920 and 950. Now, that's a lot higher than this entry, but the setup is still valid. And I still felt confident that we were going to get a move up to $10. In fact, we got to move all the way up to $11.07, which was really, really solid. So this, to me, I was setting my mental target at $12. Again, I was setting it a little high. So I'm in this at $8.95, $7.95 and $8. And I sold it at $10.63, $9.56, and then added back at $10.70 and sold it at $11 and $11.16. My best exit was at about $11.16. So with a pretty small position, like right from here to here, from 8 to 10.60 and then 9.60. I mean, yeah, if I'd sold the whole thing at 10.60, I would have made an extra $1,800 because I sold this at 9.50. But I was selling half, up $2.60 per share. I've been holding it for, as you can see, about 25 minutes. and my target was to sell the rest over 12. But mindful that maybe we wouldn't get that, and then when it came back down, I took profit on the rest. So that was, I sold it right in this candle here. We came up when we double topped and we couldn't break, and then I stopped out of the rest of it. I think it was right here on this candle. So it pulled back, and as it came back up right here, I got back in right here at 1070. So that's where I got back in, 3,000 shares, 1070. Sold half 1116 for 46 cents of profit. Sold more at 1105, 1116. Sold the rest at 1062 for an 8-cent loss. So a little scalp there. Came back up one more time, and then now it's pulling back. The biggest problem with this stock is that this was great, but I couldn't take enough size. I simply couldn't take enough size. Now this right here, as it squeezed up to 11, this was good. Nice move there. And I was holding my IRA position through this 5-minute pullback. First 5-minute candle makes a new high, and it needed to break high of day, but it couldn't. It double topped there at just over 11, and that was my cue to get out. Did end up coming back up to, like I said, 1139 or whatever it is, but yeah, that, I don't know. And now it's pulling back a little bit. So I'm still really interested in it. I'm wondering what it's going to do later this afternoon and tomorrow. There's something about it that to me looks really interesting, and I see a lot of potential, but I'm just not sure if I'm going to be able to trade it again. I think I'm done for today, up $19,000. That's a green day. I gave back a little bit off the top. In my main account, I was actually up about 10,000. I added here at 1045, 1059. This is a 7,000 share position. I added, and I stopped out of basically that whole thing. I lost on it. So stopped out at 59, 56, 58, 61, 50, 17. That was a good 60 cent loss, 50 cent loss, and then a good 50 or a good almost 70 cent and $1 loss per share on those two. That was where I had gotten in right here, and it didn't end up holding, and I had to stop out as it came back down. So, that's okay. Gave back a little bit off the top. Didn't make as much as I would have liked to have due to not getting filled on my orders because it was just moving so fast. But I'll say that I feel good about how I traded it, especially in the IRA. I took my position at 8 and I held for the profit target. As soon as I really saw some weakness, I sold half. And once it confirmed that I really didn't think it was going to do what I thought it would do, I sold the rest. That was a solid trade. So I made about $7,500 on 3,500 shares. So a full $2 per share. That, whether it's with 3,000 shares or I'd been able to do it with 8,000, that is a nice trade. So, it'll be only a matter of time before I take one of these at 8, and it does squeeze up to 10, goes up to 12, and next thing you know, it's at $14, $15, and I'm up, 8, 9 points per share, and I'm still holding some size. Didn't happen today, but in the market for small caps over the last couple of years, there have been a handful of stocks that have been just crazy strong. IMTE last year going from, if I pull this chart back, this is the day it went from a low of $2 to a high of $41.26. Stocks can be irrationally strong, and I try to position myself to make the most as I can when they're in that state. That was IMTE. We had HMNY. We had, ADIL. We've had so many in the last year that have just been really strong. Whether it's in a single day or over the course of several days. LFIN, yeah, this was last year. This was the strongest and craziest one that I've ever seen. Over the course of 2 days, it went from $5 to $140. There were people that made millions of dollars on this stock. I wasn't one of them. I wasn't as aggressive as I could have been, and that's always a reminder to try to do better, to try to trade better next time. And, maybe this year, if we get something like this, hopefully I'll just make more than I made on the last one, and just always try to improve. It's a fun thing about trading is that it'll always challenge you to try to be better. there's always someone out there who's better than you. And so if you're competitive, you know, you're going to just try to do better. And you look at these stocks and you think, man, I could have done better on that. Now, there's not a lot I can do about not getting filled. That's just part of the deal with these stocks. And that's why there's a limit to scalability. That's why you're not going to see a lot of traders trading these stocks who are regularly making $100,000 a day. It doesn't mean there aren't some people who will do it occasionally on like a really big mover, but you know, it's just a limit to how many shares you can buy. And sometimes, like today, the limit was kind of low for me with my offset and the way I'm routing my orders. And, you know, it's just kind of the way it goes. But anyways, $55,000 in January, $43,000 here. Well, it looks like I'm just about at 100K on the year. So $100,000 on the year as of February 5th, just about. That puts me at 20% of my $500,000 goal, and we're only about, well, a little more than a 12th of the way into the year. So I'm going to try to put the pedal to the metal. I'm going to try to be as aggressive as I can during this time of year when the market is really hot. I'm going to continue to be aggressive over the next, you know, couple weeks. Generally, for me, I'm going to be aggressive until I have my first big loss, and then I'm going to have to slow down. So, you know, I had a $3,000 loss last week, but, you know, I bounced right back off of that. So that wasn't a big deal. For me, a big loss would be anything probably more than like $7,500. If I take a really big hit like that, I'm going to have to switch gears and slow down a little bit. But until then, I'm going to keep being aggressive. I'm going to try to do, you know, make the most as I can during this hot streak, knowing that I will have a month this year. I guarantee it. I'll have a month this year where I will not hit my profit target. I might even have a red month this year. I had one red month last year. You know, it can happen. And so my last red month was February 2017. So it'll be about a year since my last red month here. But these good green months are going to have to tide me over during slower periods of the year. It's the same for all of you guys. It's the ebb and the flow of the market. We have hot streaks and then cold streaks, hot streaks and cold streaks. Make as much as you can during the hot streak. Sit on your hands during the cold streak. If you don't see A quality setups, can't be aggressive. Just have to go with small trades. I won't be trading with 15, 20,000 shares during a cold streak. I'll be, you know, 5,000, 6,000, 10 cents here, 10 cents there, maybe making 500 to 1,000 a day, but waiting for the next, you know, stock like these from $2 to $10. You know, these are huge moves. So a lot of opportunity in the market right now. I think emotions are running a little higher with a couple of these big moves. So, you know, I'm going to try to do the best I can here. Always try to do better, make a little more, be a little more aggressive, increase the share size, and you know, be as responsive as I can when I start to feel that the hot streak is ending, to pull back, to ease off the throttle. So hopefully I don't have a like blow up trade at the end. You know, I don't want to have a $15,000 loss at the end of this hot streak. A 3,000, 5,000, 7,000, okay. But I don't want to get hit with a $10,000 loss. And WORX today, you know, I was mindful that if I take, you know, 7,000 shares up here, I could lose $1 per share, and that's going to give back $7,500 of profit. So I was mindful of that risk, and I managed it by, as soon as I didn't see an instant breakout, kind of scaling back and getting back out pretty much break even, and, you know, for small profit, or I guess it was small loss, but that was a good way to manage the risk there. So anyways, that's it for me. I'll be back at it first thing tomorrow morning. Warrior Pro students, I'm going to be doing the mentor session today at 3 p.m. So I'll see you guys then. And everyone else, I'll see you first thing tomorrow morning, 9:15 pre-market analysis live on YouTube. Those of you guys watching here on Facebook, make sure you subscribe. This one wasn't on the watch list today. You can't always predict what's going to be hot. You just got to watch the scanners. So that's it for me. I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning.
If you're still watching, you must have really enjoyed that video. So why not subscribe and get email alerts anytime I upload new content? Remember, when you subscribe, you become a member of the Warrior Trading family.